Welcome back to the Rick and Dafs podcast. I'm Dafs.
And I'm Rick.
And as always, we are here unscripted and raw.
It's you and me in season 3.
Yep, for not much longer.
For not much longer, but at least one more episode longer, Dafs.
Yes.
This is the Christmas special. We've had a lot of fun over the years in the Christmas season.
We have.
We've pitted Santa Claus against Willy Wonka. We've talked about what's it, Christmas Carol filibusters.
Yeah, that was a solid one.
And nogging.
Yeah.
Which is, it's December and nobody has nogged me yet.
I haven't been nogged in a long time.
Anyways, so if you're wondering what that is, you should definitely listen to last year's Rick and Daf's Christmas special, where we brought Molly and Stacey on and we talked about some of our favorite holiday traditions. But today we are going to do a Christmas Blockbuster special. Now, originally, this was going to be just a full-length episode, and we were going to do another part. But it turns out that we got really carried away.
Super carried away.
With our movie reviews for our Christmas Blockbuster special. So, what are we going to do, Dafs?
I think we're going to make this a two-parter.
Wow. So, I think that just about covers it. So, we really hope you enjoy this special Rick and Daf's Christmas epismi. But here's the Thought of the Week music to get us kicked off. Strip poker on the Enterprise. Who you got?
They only have onesie.
But contractually, he had a banner.
Wesley Crusher would make a terrible Dread Pirate Roberts.
I feel like you're doubting my ability to seduce an ape princess.
I'm not doubting. I'm a little doubting.
It's the Rick and Dafs Thought of the Week.
Well, Dafs, Christmas is upon us again.
Yes.
And you know what that means?
Family.
And avoiding family at the annual Christmas Blockbuster Movies.
Yeah, they do kind of save them up all year.
Just for the end of the year.
What's the big one this year?
It's The Last Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's coming out in a couple days. At any rate, so in the spirit of the times, I've come up with my own list of 18
Oh, my God.
blockbuster films that could potentially be made. And so what we're going to do is run through them all. You're going to ask me whatever questions you need to ask. And then you will grade them on a scale of 1 to 5. And I've heard your scale, and it seems fair, but slightly punitive.
Yeah, a little bit. So I'm kind of imagining that these ideas are like trailers or like previews before a different film. And I go, would I see that? Would I not see that? You know?
Yeah,
how is it?
That's a fair point.
So it's a 1 through 5. Although there is a 0. We'll get to that. Just in case. 5 is...
I like that you're saving a 0 score for just if it's so terrible that actual numbers do not work.
5 is...
Are you saving any imaginary numbers?
No.
Negative.
The square root of -1.
Yeah. I.
Number 5 is would watch in theaters. I would sit still for hours and pay money to do so to see this film. Number 4 is I would wait for it to come on DVD and either Redbox it or illegally stream it. Not that I do that, but I do.
For any authorities out there.
Yeah.
Neither do I.
Number 3 is I'd see it if it were on Netflix or Hulu and I was bored and alone. Because you figure like if you
or
got
late night TV, you're just like flipping through channels.
Same idea.
Yeah,
you come across it, you go, yeah, okay.
Well, and you know what is a real testament to a movie when you've already seen it and then you watch it again on TV. Like there are a couple Will Ferrell movies when you're like, Anchorman. I'll stop on. I'll watch that next half hour of this.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 2 is I would intentionally avoid seeing this. I would even go so far, if people were encouraging me to see it, that I would just Google the spoilers so I could pretend I'd seen it.
That is a lot of hate. I almost, in a weird way, number 2 is I don't know how I feel about that score because it's definitely exuding some emotion from you.
Oh yeah, 3 is the happy medium. Like 2 is like you're failing.
Yeah,
and then 1 is like that you have failed. Number 1 is cruel and unusual punishment. I would refuse to see this film. I would discourage others from seeing this film. I would not listen to it.
Actively tell people how terrible this idea
Yes,
is.
wouldn't even look at reviews.
Well, I'll try my best not to cry.
And then of course we have 0.
I think there's probably going to be what's a 0?
0 is there is no way that this is going to be made into a film.
So 0 chance of even becoming a trailer.
No one will ever give you a shot at making this. They will say, lock this man up. This man is crazy. This is a terrible film idea for a movie.
Got it. Well, I'm sure there's going to be quite a broad. It's like going to be a shotgun pattern. Quite a little bit of lots of different numbers. Well, I'm going to hope for a good grouping, and to stick with our gun theme, I'm going to hope for a good grouping. All right, so here we are, first of 18. Buckle up. This one's called "The Ape in the Sea" is Dafs. A dramatic and heartfelt story of the first seafaring ape after the ape uprising.
So he sails.
Yeah, he's the first seafaring ape. He sails a ship. He's basically Ape Magellan.
So is he like exploring, trying to find new land, new areas?
No, he's just basically he's one of the he's just in love with the sea. And that's just not what apes do. So he faces like discrimination because he wants to sail the high seas. And so instead of being in the jungles or being on dry land, he's always dreamed of getting his own rig and going out and singing his sea shanties while he works on the rigging and does all that fun stuff.
I mean, what kind of conflict and resolution can you have as a single ape out in the seas?
Well, okay, I imagine that he has a very disapproving father figure.
Sure.
And there's some tension there, of him not being able to measure up, so to speak, and being a little bit of a family embarrassment. You also have the adventure on the high seas. Maybe he gets shipwrecked and he ends up in some foreign land with apes that speak a different language than him.
Right there, we're back to land. You have me. Then I'm more interested. If it's just this guy fulfills his dream of sailing around, I'm like, I don't know how that's a film.
Well, I was going to suggest maybe we could amend it and make him an ape pirate. But then if he's the only one out there, then he's just sailing around. I mean, he's essentially just yachting.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's any better. I'll admit this isn't one of my strongest ideas. But since I'm an ape enthusiast, I thought I'd start where my heart truly lied.
I could see if he... If you gave him like shipwrecked or experience other cultures or even like found, let's say, some discarded barges out in the middle of the ocean, and he or a drilling platform,
or he found some humans,
made a life for himself. See, humans, you have me there. If it's the last human refuge and he finds them, and then it's back to the planet of the war, apes whole thing. At that point, I'd say, yeah, okay, I'll give you a 3.
Yeah, how about that? How about instead he really wants to sail the high seas, but instead what he ends up doing is shipwrecking on a human colony that survived the war, learns about humanity, and decides to keep their secret, and they let him go.
Yeah,
back to his home.
I'd give that a 3.
A 3? I am very excited. That's a good start for me.
I hated the last Planet of the Apes film. I Netflixed it, and I ended up fast forwarding through almost all of it.
I am very happy because I wrote 3 down next to that idea.
Nice.
So this is a big moment for me.
Okay.
Now this may be familiar to many of you. It's definitely going to be a familiar for Dafs.
Is this going to be Richard Simmons with a crime-fighting toilet?
Yes. Maybe my best idea. So it's called Help Yourself. Richard Simmons is a self-help expert in the steampunk 1930s. So he's got a big screen TV. There's also, random historical figures who are from much later, like Michael Jackson, and other people are there. FDR is president. He essentially gets mixed up in this Nazi plot to kill FDR when he has accidentally sent a toilet that is a robot transformer that had been programmed to kill President Roosevelt when he was out visiting in LA, his favorite burlesque show.
Okay, you're having me around a 3.5 or a 3.75, and now the toilet back in time thing kind of has me down more of a 2.5.
Okay, but the thing is that the toilet can transform into like a Bumblebee type character. Mm-hmm. Also can look like any person. Okay. And the Nazis are going to use this technology to kill the president. So they're wrapped up in all sorts of mysteries and excursions, and anyways, they end up saving the president's life. But the best part is the president. Well, this is a big spoiler, but it's okay. The president that it does end up getting killed, but it turns out that was a fake robot president, and then fully legs intact, FDR busts in with a machine gun, kills the remaining Nazis, and then tells Richard Simmons in his robot toilet that it looks like they need a new deal. And then we're off to our sequel.
Okay. So...
Fire away. Ask any questions.
Is this a comedy, an action?
It's an irreverent action comedy.
Okay.
But definitely a comedy. There's no Richard Simmons and Robot Toilet. There's no way that's not comedy.
If you could get someone like Wes Anderson to direct it, I would say
that would be pure gold.
I would say absolutely give you a 4 for it. If it were more like a Michael Bay or
Michael Bay, I can't imagine that. There would be a lot of explosions.
There's a transforming toilet.
As long as his home just randomly explodes, like if there's just random explosions, then I'm all in for that.
If it were like a Michael Bay one, then you'd be gone down to like a 2. I would avoid seeing.
So what you're saying is depends on the director.
It's a big gap in direction.
Okay, that's fair. So I'm going to give that one a 3. I'm going to aggregate it a 3.
All right.
But I really think that you should rate it higher.
I know you do.
All right. Next one. This is a Star Trek one off of our episode, kind of. It's called Law and Worf. Worf is an overzealous sheriff in a small Midwest town. He's the only alien there. Admittedly, not my best idea, but I do think it would be quite humorous.
So he actually is Worf from Star Trek.
Yeah.
And they don't know he's an alien, or they do know he's an alien?
They do know he's an alien, but they've just like accepted it. He's just the only alien who happens to be in that area.
Okay. So this is kind of like an Alf situation where he's an alien and they've accepted him.
Yeah, but it's a small town, so they don't have a lot of the conveniences of the big city.
I feel like this is
it's like
a mixture of like Longmire
with Worf.
And
it's a comedy.
A comedy?
Yeah, it's like Eureka mixed with Longmire.
Okay.
And Worf.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe you get a Data cameo.
I could give that a try on Hulu or Netflix. I wouldn't avoid it.
It admittedly might be a better TV show than a movie, though.
I was going to say, if it were a TV show, you'd have me at a 3. Mm-hmm. If it were a movie,
probably a 2.
I'd probably skip it. It'd probably be about a 2.
Okay, that's fair. I'm going to give it a 2 because I wrote it down as a movie.
Because TV show.
Yeah,
I could see that coming together.
Yeah. Harry Potter the Musical.
Oh, yeah.
7-hour movie.
No.
Nope. No, it has to be 7 hours.
Nope.
I'm sorry that I can't compromise artistically.
I won't give it a 0 because I believe you would get funding. I think you would. But
So what score is that one?
Any musical that's 7 hours is a 1. It's cruel and unusual. No one will sit through it. And those who do are not going to be the kind of people I'm going to associate with. If you told me it was a Harry Potter 2-hour musical, I almost said 3. I didn't. 2-hour musical.
Well, the studios would want it to be a 2-hour musical because then they could make more of them. But I say no. I say it's a one-time movie. You do the entirety of the series.
The entire arc, the entire canon.
It's got to be like 7 to 9 hours.
No, there's no way. If you redid the movies as musicals and put them on in like a play,
CGI.
and put them in like a play production, like that kind of.
Would you go see it as a play, a 9-hour play?
No.
So
That's so much worse.
So it's a 1.
That's
all
so
the way
much,
around.
It's totally 1. If you
What?
did 2-hour films.
What if I let you be in it?
No,
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
What if I gave you, let you be a producer?
If I were a producer, then I would insist that we put it into 2-hour films.
No, you're out.
and then I'd give it a 4.
Nah. I can't sacrifice my artistic vision just to get a higher score. I mean, that's really selling out.
Then you would get a 1.
I'll take that 1. So you're saying there's a chance?
Not in a million years. But after that?
What I would do then is bet Stacy or bet you that you would have to watch the movie if you lost fantasy football.
Ugh,
That would be the bet that I would make.
those fantasy bets, man. Those are harsh.
That should be like a 1.5. Like, would only watch for fantasy bet. Or I guess that is a 1 because it's cruel and unusual.
Yeah. It almost qualifies as a 2 because if you told me about it, I would definitely lie and say, "Oh yeah, I totally saw that."
Because I was so passionate about it.
My favorite part was the singing.
So do you hate it so much that you're openly defiant? Or do you...
I tell you right now, there is no way I would sit through a 7-hour musical.
Okay, so you're openly defiantly giving it a 1.
Defiant.
Okay. All right. That's my favorite one so far. Okay. All right, next up, another classic, Sorted Out. I think you know what this one's about. An average American man gets the sorting hat out of an old trunk and has the adventure of a lifetime.
Okay, so is this a muggle that is discovering that magic is all real? Mm-hmm. And
What's that terrible movie about the guy with the teddy bear who's alive? It's Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, Ted?
Yeah, this is way better than that, but it's kind of like in the sense that there would be like a CGI character.
Yeah. Ted was the only reason why people watch Ted was because Seth MacFarlane is so foul.
Yes.
And because it's
maybe
funny
Seth
to see
MacFarlane could play the sorting hat.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Then
That's the last
nix
thing,
that.
That's the last thing
What?
we need to do is give that man more power.
Jean-Luc Picard?
Oh yeah.
Patrick Stewart is the sorting hat.
Or Ian McKellen.
Either one.
Yeah.
But at any rate,
They could share it. They could share the role.
depending on what the hat's saying or doing.
That would give them a really interesting thing if they both said the lines at the same time with the same
it's
emotion.
a schizophrenic hat.
It would just have it would sound like reverb, like two voices at the same time. You'd be like,
Well, my thought is like the guy's at work at some point in time, and he's like working, and all of a sudden this man comes in wearing the sorting hat because the sorting hat has somehow possessed him, because he's bored at home, wants to come visit the guy at work, and he's like, "You can't be here." He's like, "Don't tell me what to do, Sword of Gryffindor." There would definitely be a lot of Sword of Gryffindor jokes for sure. Mm-hmm. He would definitely get mixed up in some sort of like wizard police type of thing. Maybe the sorting hat would be on the lam. I don't know. What do you think?
I could imagine it being very funny if the sorting hat acted as his wingman.
Yes. Better be Jennifer. We could definitely have like a cool best friend character who's like his buddy who's in on the hat, knows all about it. Yeah. Maybe he can get into some hijinks on his own.
Yeah. Okay. I would give that a 3. I would watch that.
3's that's my highest rating so far, is 3.
You could have had a 4, but you refused to shrink the time slot of the
the Harry Potter musical.
Put it into 4 easy to bite segments.
I don't regret it. Okay. This one is a little bit off the wall, but staying with our Harry Potter theme, Dumbledore. Cyborg Dumbledore, eccentricities intact, is a detective for muggles until one case leads him onto a crime that has implications in his own life.
Well, he's dead.
Well, he doesn't know that. He thinks he's the real Dumbledore.
Okay. I feel like this is almost similar-ish to the Longmire Worf feel. I feel like this is like the equivalent of like the show Suits and White Collar, where it's like almost the exact same show, but just like
slightly different.
3 things are different, but that's it.
The setting is different.
Yeah.
Well, in this one, this guy's in the faraway future.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big twist. Spoiler alert.
I would probably give it a 2. I probably wouldn't see it, but would probably say I had.
Now, I think that we should point out that you're saying 2 to me. Like, I mean, the lying is to me. Like,
Yeah.
I made this movie, and you're saying that you saw it, even though you...
Well, if you were to make any film, we would obviously go see it, right? But if this was you showed me a whole bunch of trailers like this and I had to rate it, it'd be a 2.
It's fair. Yep. You're basically lying to save my feelings as a 2. That's what I'm getting out of that.
Kind of.
It's like a soft, I hate this, but I just don't have the heart to tell you how bad it is.
Be like, I think with some just re-scripting, maybe a different writer.
This next one is a great title. Not so. I mean, I'm trashing my own movie, but still, I'll just be honest with you. Great title. Not so sure about the content. Jedi Knights. A Jedi Knight opens a nightclub after the fall of the Republic.
So it's like Boogie Nights or Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
But in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. With the Jedi Knight as the owner. He's trying to pick up the pieces of his life. You find some boogie soul music. Really speaks to him.
I mean,
he works through the murder of everyone.
This could be a 4. This could be a 4 if it were a retired Jedi who opens a club like the Cantina where all those crazy things happen. Yeah. But then he kind of solves the crimes of the local people who come in.
Yeah, it's his way of like giving back. And
it'd be like
out.
A bartender detective kind of feel.
Yeah.
But I'd give that a 4. I'd Redbox that or
five.
stream it. High 4.
High 4. I am so excited. My favorite part about the whole thing is the name though. Jedi Knights just sounds awesome. NIGHT.
It'd have a really trashy neon sign with
for
like
sure.
a lightsaber on it. Like,
Maybe some cops could come in at some point in time and be like, you better not be doing any Jedi powers. And he's like, of course I'm not. And waves his hand across. He's not doing it. Let's go. Okay. All right. Moving on. From that victory, I'm so happy. Now we're back to some poor films. I'll be honest, this one came to me in the night. It's not very good. The Remembrall. It's based off of a Harry Potter theme, but it's not Harry Potter at all. A fight breaks out during a high school reunion for the rich and powerful and tears through a sleepy town. One small town policeman must take the law into his own hands to keep the peace.
See, I feel like that is exactly the setup for at least 12 different
it's essentially
low budget erotic novels on Amazon.
It's essentially, well, then it would sell great.
It would sell really well.
It's essentially Hot Fuzz, but with the rich and powerful like ransacking a town and him killing most of them.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a zombie film, but instead of zombies, it's rich people in ball gowns.
Mm-hmm. You change kill to another verb, and you change zombies to debutantes, and you have a
punching debutantes. There's something funny about
you have
that.
an erotic film right there.
If he was an old man punching debutantes.
No, more like a
Oh, you're meaning like a sexual type of thing.
Yes.
No, I was actually meaning like physically he would just like an old fat guy punching debutantes. I think that would really, I think the people would want to see that. Rich, smug people getting punched in the face by a small town out of shape sheriff. Maybe you could have like a Barney type character from Andy Griffith's show as his right hand man. What do you think?
I think that probably sounds like a 2.
Dang. Really? See, I actually think that would be far more entertaining than you would think. I think that you would be like, this is a terrible movie, but I'm going to watch it anyways because it sounds so ludicrous that I can't look away. Like it would just be violent. There would be like 2 minutes of plot and then it would just be violence for the next hour and a half.
But he really wouldn't be a small-time sheriff then. If you were like a small-time vigilante, or maybe like somebody who was in that same class but got like
how about
bullied and then
no. How about
chose the reunion?
How about this? He was the sheriff. He got fired. But then that sheriff has been killed, so he takes the law into his own hands. Back in the case.
I feel like if you leaned more like a Carrie situation where it's like bullying and finally getting comeuppance, then I'd say yeah.
It's not a revenge story. It's just a violence story. It's more about the ironic nature of like rich people trashing a small town and then getting killed.
I'm gonna go 2.
Dang it. I think you're making a big mistake.
It's
This one I'm actually fighting you on because I think that you would find yourself watching it on TV and you'd be like, "Dang, this is a good movie. I wish I'd seen it."
I could definitely be wrong. There's lots of shows that I've avoided, and then I watched 2 episodes, and then I loved them.
This next one. So I put down a 2, but I'm disgusted with you. I give your response a 1. Okay. This next one is more of a drama. It's more serious movie.
Okay.
It's just called Bruce. An examination of Bruce Wayne and how being Batman is making his life hard. It's a gritty drama of his life falling apart as Bruce while he's trying to be Batman. It's actually a somewhat serious movie.
So it's
There's no Batman in it, really.
okay. So it's all the
Maybe Batman cameo, but no real actual Batman.
all the uncool parts
Yeah.
of the Batman franchise and the comics, but with a more serious tone.
It would be an examination of his life and how he is as a person kind of falling apart while trying to maintain this vigilante, nighttime activity at the same time.
I could see that. I could give that a 4. I can give that a solid 4. If it were an interesting, serious film about a man trying to maintain a double life.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And failing and having to choose most important. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I'll give that a solid 4.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
That's 2 4s so
I got
far.
2 4s.
That's not bad.
Then that was an actually serious one.
Yeah.
Now we're back into the normal vein of Rick. This one's called Ray of Light. A man named Ray turns a light post into a death ray for revenge on the cable man. Accidentally kills his dentist, then gets a toothache. Gets drunk, goes on the lam. It's a story of it's like a what's the wrong place, wrong time type of story where nothing is going right. But he did commit a murder, so he is on the lam.
I appreciate the double use of Ray in there. I like that.
I'll be honest, that was mostly title.
I feel like if you had someone like John Candy, if he were alive,
Yeah.
play it.
What if he was also a priest? Then we could have triple meanings of ray of light.
Yeah. I feel like if you made it like a comedy and had like a bumbling oaf as your main.
That's who it would be. It would definitely be a bumbling oaf type character.
Yeah. I could give that a 3.
Wow, I haven't gotten a single 0 yet. I am very excited.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's coming.
There's time.
What did we say this one was? This was a 3?
This is a 3.
Ah. Well, hey, we're doing really well. Okay. This one might be my best one, to be honest with you. Although, it has a chance. This one's called The Apology Tour. A man goes on a tour across America to apologize for all the horrible things he's done during Step 9, with sexy and hilarious results.
I feel like that is that's a stomach.
It's your stomach?
That's my stomach.
It's so loud I thought it was my stomach.
that sushi is very
squiggly.
It's still flopping around. It was that fresh.
So, Apology Tour.
I feel like this is My Name is Earl.
It's My Name is Earl, but a road trip version.
Okay.
But yes, I can see where you're going with this. It's a road trip version. It wouldn't have the blue collar tone in the sense of like that they're all very like poor. But it would definitely have the apology part and trying to make up for it kind of a thing. But what I like about it is he would get himself into some sticky situations. It would be a moving movie, so it would always be lots of action, new places for him to go. I definitely envision him getting attacked by a crocodile at some point in time. Just in case you were wondering.
If you made this a dry comedy.
Like Airplane?
No. Like a Lost in Translation.
Oh, okay.
And had either Bill Murray or Steve Carell play this character, and then you found out like towards the end, like the reason why he's trying to do it now all at once because he found out he has cancer. And
oh
is
my
dying.
gosh, that's very sad.
It'd be like a funny, serious movie though. I would give that a 5. I would go to theaters and I would watch that.
I would be okay with giving him cancer at the end.
I
think that's good
because that would be like I'm trying to make this Step 9, but it's more about like that. Then yeah, totally. That'd be
wrap
a great
up
film.
your loose ends.
That'd be a great film.
The Apology Tour gets a 5. All right, people. Now we're really cooking with gas. This one's right up your alley, Dafs. I actually envision you in the title role. I call it Kong David. A man gets transported back in time for some reason to become a Middle Ages king. Watch him invent and lie his way to the pinnacle of world power. And you might be asking yourself, where does the Kong part come in? Also, he fights a giant monkey. Your thoughts?
This sounds like a reverse Idiocracy film.
Yes,
where
yeah.
an average person gets sent through time, ends up kind of like Year Zero, that Jack Black film with Michael Cera. With Kong in it though, and with me,
that's just to mix it up. If you don't say that you would watch your own movie,
I think this might be a 0. I don't think anybody. They'd hear it and they go, okay, it's kind of, and then they'd say the reason why it's called Kong, and then they'd go, yeah, you lost me again.
And then I would demand that you be in the starring role.
You could save it by saying, but the main character is Steve Carell and he has cancer and it's actually kind of serious. I feel like that it turns any film around into okay.
There's some Simpsons thing where it's like they're always saying that somebody's best friend is a talking pie, and then they're like, because apparently having a talking pie for the best friend is what makes it work.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a 0.
Yeah.
First 0. That's rough. I would have thought that other ones would have gotten a 0, but not you in the title role getting a 0. That's really the harsh realism that I've come to expect from you.
Again, there's only one other thing that can save it, and that is brought to you by Wes Anderson. Because then it doesn't matter what it is, it's gonna do huge.
All right. Or who did Little Miss Sunshine?
Oh,
That
it wasn't the Koch brothers. It was
whoever did that might work.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they're pretty good.
This one, I'll be honest, is more of a revenge film. It's called Hand in Hand. An ape princess and a kindly, thoughtful man fall in love, and with her help, he saves his foolhardy friend from certain death and forges a stronger bond between ape and mankind. Or if I was going to be PC, humankind.
I feel like this would be one of those straight to DVD.
You would also be in this movie. I'm pretty sure you would
You're
be.
not helping the case at all.
You would be the foolhardy friend. You're right, though. This would be a straight.
This would be straight to DVD. So this would be one of those films.
You know,
I'm not saying it's a horrible thing.
This might hit it big in the ape audiences, though, after the uprising, after enough time has passed.
Yeah, this is one of those films I imagine that you see in the red boxes where it's like,
Who watches that?
well, yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like, 2012 came out, that film about like the end of the world and it's all
Yes.
falling apart. Well, as soon as they announced they were going to make that film, there was another small film company that said 2013, and they made a film that was essentially just like it, but a much lower budget and terribly written. It's the same reason why you have like a bunch of knockoff Twilight and Harry Potter films that are always in the red boxes at the same time.
So what you're saying is that for a low quality
Planet of the Apes
theme
film comes out right around the same
Yeah.
time, tries to piggyback off of it. I could see that. I mean, sorry, I said that wrong. I wouldn't see it, but I could see somebody
so
sponsoring
you're giving
that.
me a 1.
I'd give you a 1.
You wouldn't watch it.
It would be made, but I would not watch it.
We're getting towards the end of my list. We're pretty far along. We're 37 minutes
It's
in.
a pretty solid.
So I'm gonna skip some of my lesser. Well, you know what though? But who knows which one of these?
That's the thing, man. I mean,
Okay,
we'll do lightning round.
lightning round. All right, yeah, we'll do lightning round for the end. All right, catch this: an ex-ball player loves the game too much to quit, so he joins an adult softball league. But his competitive spirit gets the better of him. Base brawls, PED use, base brawls and PED use ensues. One of the last gasps of male ego goes as they go for the Greater Lower East Side Championship.
I give that a 3.
Really?
Yeah,
All right.
I could see that being funny, or
It's a little bit. Yeah, it's a
pulling the heartstrings.
Yeah. This one, that actually also might be a better TV show than a movie, to be fair. This one I've already kind of told you about. It's called The Iron Yuppie. A big city lawyer secretly dreams of being a wrestling superstar.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine him being a family man with kids. Maybe like kind of like a all-American dad type figure, but he just really wants to get it on in the wrestling ring.
I could totally see that. I would give that.
That would have been huge in the 1990s. That
Oh,
would have
yeah.
been a 5 for sure then.
Well, it's kind of like a Nacho Libre
like 20 years too.
kind of feel to it, but it's believable enough because there are so many strange sports now. Like you'll have lawyers who are like roller derby gals on the weekends. I could totally see a regular average guy putting on a luchador mask and doing this on like weekends and road
Again,
trips.
might be a better show.
Yeah, I could see Amazon
Yeah.
doing Amazon priming it.
I would say a 3,
Yeah, I agree.
even though I'm not allowed to grade these.
I would give it a 3.
This one, 21st Century Kingdom. I envision this being more serious. A man who can talk to squirrels spends a lifetime building a squirrel empire. He watches them grow, fall in love, and die. Spanning from his early teens to his death, this heartfelt movie follows the reign of the Squirrel King.
Yep, 0.
What do you mean 0?
No one's gonna make that.
It's like Watership Down, but with squirrels and a human king.
Yeah.
No?
No.
Why not?
No, I don't think anyone would make it. If they did make it, I'd give it a 1.
Damn.
but I don't think you get anybody to sign on board.
See, I think that's actually then those people are missing out because that's a great film. That would be a Christmas tearjerker for sure. Especially when his first squirrel dies.
That happens almost immediately. Like a third of squirrels' births die before they hit one.
No. The first squirrel he talks to.
Yeah.
So it's already alive.
Oh.
Anyways. Okay. This might be my last one. Kramer versus Kramer, but with a C. A man gets sued by his own clone and loses half his possessions and his best friend.
I could see that. I could see
You
that.
could go a couple different ways with it. It could be serious.
Yeah.
Or it could be a comedy.
Well, I mean, and the thing too is there's
You'd
lots of films right now that are kind of serious but have very funny sections, like very funny moments. Like Get Out, for some reason, was put into the comedy section for
That's not a
the
comedy.
Emmys. It's not a comedy, but there are very funny parts in it, and so I could see you doing a serious film that have a few kind of or we look alike kind of hijinks in there.
As long as there isn't any weird sexual tension between the man and his own clone.
There would be for sure, but you'd have to make sure the subtext is really low on it.
Well, I could see it going that way really easily, especially because he loses his best friend, and I think the longing looks, and just the late night phone calls. You'd have to be really careful.
Yep.
And last but not least, a bonus one I just came up with. The movie critic. A movie critic is driven mad by terrible movies and goes on a psychotic rampage.
I could see that. I could see
He kills a list of directors and producers. He becomes like a hitman. I don't know. I feel like that I'd see that movie on Netflix.
Yeah. Someone who is forced to critique things and they're just getting worse and worse and worse, and so
Yeah. But
and maybe
did you give a rating for Kramer versus Kramer, by the way?
Kramer versus Kramer would be a 3.
Okay.
Be a 3.
Lots of 3s.
I could see that being a great show if he were also a screenwriter, like he were a ghostwriting screenwriter where he keeps like sending ones in trying to get his films made, and then instead is just watching terrible films be made, and he gets more angry and then goes on a vengeance killing.
Snaps.
I could definitely see that being on
okay,
Hulu.
overarching themes, your thoughts from this episode.
Better than I expected. You told me like one ahead of time, and I was like, oh boy,
this is
gonna be low. You also take criticism really well, which I appreciate. So
another big surprise.
And a lot of your ideas are well formed, but they are easily shaped into different directions. You can go funny, you can go serious. It kind of depends on who you'd cast in it.
Here's the thing I'm noticing about all these. Well, one, they're very strange for the most part. Mm-hmm. 2, lots of violence.
Yeah.
And a disregard for human life seems to be and also very ape and Harry Potter friendly.
Super heavy on the apes, for sure.
Well, I'm thinking ahead. You know, like for when the apes take over, then
you want movies for them too?
They need to have movies too. And I know that I'll be discriminated against because I'll be one of those dirty humans. But I won't say get your hands off me, you dirty ape.
No.
Which is I think what Charlton Heston
Yes.
says in the movie. I will reach out a hand of friendship and say, let's make a movie about the first seafaring ape. Anyways, so to recap, I'll go through the best scoring movies and then the one that got a 0 and a 1. Harry Potter the Musical was scored a 1 because I refused to compromise on it being 7 to 9 hours.
Yep.
Jedi Knights scored a 4 because it was just an awesome name and an awesome idea. Let's see. Bruce, the one serious film we put in here, scored a 4. The Apologies, who are our highest scoring one yet, scored a 5. Kong David, a movie starring you, scored a 0.
Just the worst.
Just the worst. The Ape Princess movie, Hand in Hand, scored a 1. You would outright refuse to watch it. You also don't believe I could get funding for the Squirrel King movie.
Nope.
In fact, some of that is I think the naming problem. I think I should call it the Squirrel King, and then maybe I might get more interest.
I'm thinking you make it a dark comedy and call it Going Nuts. I think you'd get a lot more.
How about this? How about if I change it into a Pixar film for kids about a small boy who can talk to squirrels?
Okay.
And instead of watching them grow old and die, he just hangs out with them and has a good time.
Yeah, I mean, anything Pixar is gonna do at least a 3 on the radar.
Woohoo!
I love Pixar.
Okay. Well, that has been a very long and expensive episode of Rick and Dafs podcast because we both skipped work to do it. So lost at least $500-600.
Yeah. How much do you get paid? My God.
No, I meant combined.
I know.
Well, you also have to remember I work 13-hour days.
Oh crap, that's right. I was like, what? That's so much money.
You should have read your contract more thoroughly. Stupid. Anyways, so for all of us here at the Rick and Dafs podcast, happy holidays for one. But don't forget to tell your friends. If you want to gift your friends the gift of laughter, you give them the link to these podcasts. And their holidays are sure to be bright.
It helps if they know us. Not gonna lie, being objective there.
I would rate this podcast a 3.
Yeah. I would also rate it a 3. If you don't know who I am,
don't put in the effort to illegally stream it, because why would you do that? It's free everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would see us in theaters. We're know how things work or whatever. What's that podcast?
Oh, Stuff You Should Know?
Stuff You Should Know.
Dude, those guys are great, man.
Anyways. All right. I guess that about covers it.
Yep, I'm Dafs.
And I'm Rick. Have a good one.